In this video, I'm going to speak to you about how I made my first $1,000 online. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video today on the channel. Now in this video, as mentioned, I'm going to be speaking to you about how I made my first $1,000 online as an entrepreneur and my first kind of real business venture online, which was around 2 to 3 years ago now. But just before I jump into that, if you are new around here, it'd be great if you can hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell so you never miss another upload. And if you do have any questions for me about how you can make money online, social media marketing, entrepreneurship, business, self-improvement, drop it in the comments down below because I do reply to all of my YouTube comments. Okay, so let's hop into it. Now, to take you back a few years ago, about 2.5, 3 years ago now, I was actually a university student and I was working a minimum wage job stacking shelves at a retail store here in the UK called The Cooperative. Now, all I was doing was basically stacking shelves, working on the till, and I was doing it for minimum wage, and I really hated my job. I was working shift work, I wasn't earning good money, I was in my overdraft, and even more than that, I was at university doing a degree that I absolutely hated. I was failing, I wasn't showing up to class, I was really not in a great position in my life, okay? And at that period of time, like, I always wanted to start an online business, I always wanted to make money online, but the issue was I just did not have the information and the know-how to go and start a business. I always kind of told myself that, you know, one day you'll start a business, because I was in the mindset that I had to have a lot of money, I had to have rich parents, which I didn't have. I had to come into some money. I'd have to be older. You know, I couldn't start a business if I was young. And I had all of these different limiting beliefs. But fast forward a few months, still hating my life in a miserable job, still in my overdraft, still hating my university course. And I decided to make a decision. And that decision was, I don't care how I was going to do it, what I was going to do, but I was going to make some money online. Enough was enough. So that was when I sat down with a piece of paper and a pen and I wrote down all the things I was good at. And at the time I had another YouTube channel, I was making vlogs and videos, and I built up like a pretty small audience, but you know, around 10, 15,000 subscribers on that YouTube channel. So initially I started writing down things like YouTube, I started writing down things like video editing, I started writing down things like social media and Instagram, because those were all the things that I was considering myself pretty good at. And that's when I started to search online how to make money with social media, how to make money with YouTube, and I stumbled upon freelancing, and I stumbled upon freelance websites. So what I did the very next day is I got myself an account created on the biggest freelance website, which was called Upwork, and I started to reach out to people who were looking for help with social media management and also help with YouTube. So I started applying, and to be honest with you, I didn't really think anything of it because I kept telling myself, and there was this voice in the back of my head that kept saying, you're not experienced enough. What if somebody wants to call you? You don't know how to sell. You're not gonna be good at this, you know, all of these limiting beliefs. But I kind of pushed through that and started to reach out to people. And believe it or not, within the first 24 hours, I got a reply from someone who was interested and they wanted to hop on a phone call with me. Now, anybody who knows anything about my story and what I was like kind of 5-10 years ago is I was extremely overweight, I was massively introverted, and I had really low self-esteem and really low confidence. And the thought of me getting on a phone call with somebody scared the life out of me. And I was this close to not doing it because fear almost kind of took charge of me. But my partner, my girlfriend at the time, she's now my fiance, she said to me, she was like, Brad, you are miserable in your job. You are miserable in your university course. What have you got to lose? Just get on the phone call. I'm sick of you being this upset. This is what you've always wanted. You've got the opportunity in front of you. Do it. And I kind of thought, you know what? I've got to do this. What's going to be worse? Going and doing the job I hate every day, continuously, going to university with no direction, getting further in debt, or simply taking a phone call and seeing what happens. So the next day, again, I get on that phone call. I remember myself, I was literally shaking, my hands were shaking, I was nervous, my voice was tremoring, and we hopped on a video call. And I started to chat with this guy. He was a dental consultant and he wanted help posting on social media. And at the time I really didn't know what I was talking about, but after like 5 minutes I realized it was simply just a chat. You know, we were just talking. He was just telling me what he was after, what he needed, and I was kind of saying, oh yeah, you know, so if you want to grow your online presence, we can grow it on Instagram, we can grow it on Facebook, we can, you know, we can use YouTube as well. And I started to realize, actually, I know more than I think, because this guy knows nothing and I know a little bit. Because I knew just a little bit more than him, I actually realized I was coming across not as an expert, but clearly as somebody who could offer that service. So after about a 1 hour phone call, towards the end, all my nerves had gone. We were chatting and we agreed upon a deal of $500 per month to manage his social media pages. And I got off that phone call and I cannot explain to you how I felt. I felt like just, I can't explain it until you experience it yourself. If you've ever landed your first client or made your first bit of money online, you'll know what that experience is like. But it was just like everything I've always wanted and always waited for happened in a moment. And I kept applying for jobs. You know, alongside that, I applied for a ton of the jobs. And then the next day again, I got another message from somebody else, someone who was also interested, wanting the same thing, social media management. And we didn't even get on a phone call. Within a 5-minute back and forth conversation, the guy agreed to pay me $500 or maybe even $600 per month. And within a space of 2 or 3 days, I'd gone from having no money, no experience in my overdraft, to all of a sudden earning about $1,000 per month online. Now, by the time Upwork took their fees, I was only left with around $700 per month. But at that point, I decided, right, that's it, I'm dropping out. And before that first paycheck even hit my bank, while that money was still in holding inside of Upwork, I quit my job and I dropped out of university. Now, some people might think that that's extremely risky, but for me, I knew if I could get 2 clients in 2 days and make $700 a month, I knew I could make $1,000, $2,000 a month. I could make a full-time income. So I quit, dropped out, and went all in. And then within the space of around 2 to 4 weeks, I was making £3,000 to £4,000 a month, all from using these freelance websites and social media platforms. And yes, at the time I was doing this all myself. I was a freelancer, I was self-employed, I was putting all the hours in, I was doing all the work. For some of my clients, I was even working hourly. But the thing is, I was able to make a full-time income, and I cannot explain how much that completely transformed my life. I was happier than I'd ever been before. I remember sitting in front of my desk, right, and I was posting on social media, and I remember thinking, I cannot believe that this is my job. Like 2 weeks ago, I was stacking shelves in Co-op, dealing with drunk customers coming in trying to buy alcohol, you know, doing night shifts followed by early shifts, and now I'm getting paid to post on social media, and it was just the best experience ever. And from then, it really scaled. Fast forward, you know, a couple of years later, that has now turned into a really profitable 6-figure business with me. It's now automated. I've got a team of 9. I've also got a personal brand and a training program. I've got all this other stuff going on, but it all started from essentially landing that first client, those first kind of 2 clients, and making that first $1,000 online. So hopefully, you know, you can kind of take away a little bit from this today, and you can understand that a couple of key pointers really. Number 1, no matter how scared you are, no matter how inexperienced you think you are, the key is to just throw yourself in the deep end, because you'll figure it out. Yes, I didn't really know how to make social media posts. I had actually, just because I realized how much time I was spending on Facebook, back then I quit Facebook. I didn't use it at all. I didn't use it for like 2 years. So I didn't even know when I was worried when I was making that first social media post for him on Facebook that I was actually posting his post on my own timeline instead of on his Facebook page. Like, I didn't have a clue. But guess what? I figured it out. And I figured it out all myself. And I made a ton of mistakes, but the key is, even when you don't think you're ready, even if you're scared, if you're nervous, you're scared about having a phone call, you've got to tell yourself, what's worse? Working a job I hate, being underpaid for the rest of my life, or just simply facing fear head on and doing something that you're uncomfortable with to then reap the rewards, reap those benefits. And then also another key point here is, and I was unable to do this in the beginning because I took a load of training programs. At this point, I'd read hundreds of books, you know, I'd done loads of training programs. But there was nobody teaching this freelance method. There was nobody teaching how to get clients on freelance websites, how to automate it, how to build a business with it, how to actually scale it really, really quickly. And I kind of had to figure this all out myself. And my recommendation to you is invest in yourself, okay? If I could go back now and know everything I could, I would pay tens of thousands of dollars for that information, because I would have saved so much time. I would have made so many less mistakes. And you know, I would have hit 6 figures probably within the first 1 or 2 months of my business, rather than it actually taking me, you know, kind of 6 to 12 months to do that. Now, hopefully you guys found some kind of motivation, found some value from this video. If you guys are interested in learning, you know, the full A to Z on how you can start your own social media marketing business using these freelance websites, how you can avoid the wasted time, avoid all the mistakes that I made, and learn basically a huge shortcut for success, how you can get these warm leads that are basically begging to pay you money to manage their social media pages, manage their Facebook advertising. And I have a link to a training program down below called the Social Media Marketing Academy. We've had hundreds of students enroll, hundreds of success stories, several people go on to be earning 6 figures plus a year. So again, invest in yourself. I really recommend it. Shortcut, you know, fast track that success. The link to that's going to be down below. Hopefully you found some motivation and value in my story and how I made my first $1,000. If you have any questions, be sure to ask them down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.